James Harden has made the playoffs in all 15 seasons he's been in the league, a rare feat. However, when the postseason begins, he tends to crumble. In the playoffs, his true shooting percentage plummets from .61 to .58. His assist rate decreases from 34% to 31%, and his win rate goes from 65% to 53%. Although the playoffs naturally intensify, seeing teams ramp up their defense and polish their strategies to the next level. But many top players in today's NBA seem to strive under these conditions. However, James Harden is not one of those guys. His consistency to be inconsistent in the playoffs have left fans and analysts puzzled time and time again. That being said, how bad is playoffs James Harden actually? Welcome to SportsSphere. Let's get into it. Before we dive into James Harden's recent playoff struggles, let's not forget his breakout moments with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Harden was clutch during the Thunder's epic 2012 Finals run, especially when he dropped 20 points off the bench in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals against the Spurs, helping swing the series in OKC's favor.
5. Harden for 3, yes!
He kept that momentum in the finals against LeBron's Miami Heat, lighting up the scoreboard with 21 points in Game 2. However, as the series wore on, Harden's output decreased. In Games 4 and 5, he was only netting a combined 17 points and shot a cold 20%. Not coming through in the end, however, Harden was still a young player, and this playoffs campaign still showed some promise of Harden as a postseason contributor. When James Harden was traded to the Houston Rockets in 2012, he stepped up as the primary star, averaging a career-high 26 points during the regular season. However, in the playoffs, despite maintaining the same scoring average, Harden struggled with efficiency, shooting just 39% from the field as the Rockets fell to his former team, OKC. But considering the Thunder were favored significantly, taking them to 6 games wasn't a bad effort from Harden and the Rockets. In the 2014 playoffs, Harden, despite averaging about 27 points per game against the Portland Trail Blazers, struggled with his three-point shooting, making under 30% from deep. This series ended dramatically in Game 6, with Damian Lillard hitting a buzzer beater, closing out the series in 6 games. And this is how the final moments played out from a Rockets perspective, according to Jeremy Lin.
I guarded Damian Lillard during that fourth quarter, and prior to that shot, he had not scored a single point on me. Then I get subbed out, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Mikhail is like, okay, this is gonna be our coverage. And then James Harden goes, no, let's try to switch instead. Hold on, time out. Like, wait, which one are we doing? Are we chasing over? Are we switching? You can see James Harden and Chandler Parsons talking as the play is about to start, and he hit the shot. I was just so angry because it felt like there was like a miscommunication or this awkwardness, and I felt like we deserved to win.
After this series, it saw a second first-round exit in a row with his new team, and questions started to be raised as to Harden's declining performance in the postseason. The next playoffs in 2015, the Rockets coasted through the Mavericks in Round 1, before Harden kicked off strong with 37 points against the Clippers in Game 1, however faltered in Game 6. Coach Kevin McHale even benched him when they were down 17 in that game, before the Rockets came out as victors in the end, despite their star player being benched. However, in the following Game 7, Harden scored 31 points, leading his team to the Western Conference Finals.
And the comeback is complete. The Houston Rockets will play in their first conference final in 18 years. The runner-up for MVP, 31 points in his Game 7.
His playoff inconsistency again showed in the conference finals against the Golden State Warriors. Harden scored 45 points in one game, dispelling doubts about his postseason abilities, but then plummeted to just 12 points and 13 turnovers in the next, soon leading to another playoff exit, as the Rockets lost in 5. Regardless, the 2015 campaign was still largely a success, reaching the conference finals despite some obvious inconsistencies from Harden, and the Rockets were hopeful to progress further in the next postseason. But hopes were quickly crushed the next year, as the Rockets were matched up against the Warriors in the first round. This was a Warriors team that was barely beatable in the regular season, and with no stars around Harden, the Rockets were expected to lose. And they did, in 5 games.
Golden State advances to the second round. They win the series in 5.
After securing the 3rd seed in the 2016-2017 season, come playoffs time, the Rockets, led by Harden, took down the 6th seed OKC in a convincing 5 games. However, they faced a tougher challenge in the next round against the Spurs, led by Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, and a seasoned roster. However, the Rockets were still given a big shot to win the game. Despite Harden's high-scoring efforts of having 43 and 33-point outings in the series, the Rockets lost both games. Ironically, the team performed better when Harden stacked up assists rather than points. The Rockets would eventually fall to the Spurs in 6 games, including losing the last 2 games of the series. At this point, fans and analysts began to see the contrast in regular season James Harden and playoffs James Harden. Was it due to the Rockets' isolation play style for Harden, or Harden unable to perform consistently under pressure? Maybe it was both. Regardless, he was still the man in Houston, and the Rockets still thought they could get more results from their offensive beast. In the 2017-18 season, now with Chris Paul alongside him in the backcourt, the Rockets started playing a small ball style lineup to a high level where they were focused on finding the open shooter, as well as letting Harden cook playing isolation ball. This saw them end the season with an elite 65-17 record, claiming the 1st seed in the West. This season also saw Harden average over 30 points for the first time, also with nearly 9 assists. As for the Rockets, in the 2018 playoffs, they were able to easily breeze past their early competition, defeating the Timberwolves, then Utah Jazz, both in 5 games. Although not shooting efficiently, it was the team play that Houston perfected in the regular season that saw them come out with the comfortable victories. Come conference finals time, again matched up against the Warriors. This time with KD on the team, things were going to be a lot harder. However, Houston was playing some of their best basketball. After a back-and-forth first 5 games, the Rockets claimed the 3-2 advantage, and the following 2 games were Harden's time to prove doubters wrong about his clutchness, especially with Chris Paul now out due to injury. However, these hopes collapsed dramatically. In Game 6, he shot a poor 5 for 21, missed all 7 3-point tries, and had 9 turnovers, contributing to a 29-point loss. A typical off night for Harden, as the Warriors leveled the score 3-3. Regardless, the Rockets still had one more opportunity to enter the first NBA Finals in many, many years in Game 7 at home. And despite Harden shooting better in Game 7, questionable shot selection, and decision-making especially late, the Warriors would come out as 9-point victors in the end, winning the final 2 games of the series to send them to the finals. Factors like Chris Paul's injury and questionable refereeing in Game 7 are understandable, but it's the result that matters in history, and Harden's playoff reputation remained. 2018-19 James Harden was a different beast, and this even translated into the playoffs. But despite averaging 35 in the Western semifinals, he was sent home by Golden State. And by the 2020 playoffs, Harden's reputation was set in stone, and the Rockets were barely given a chance due to his inability to show up in this clutch, as they were easily sent home by the Lakers.
The Lakers are back in the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2010 as they eliminate the Houston Rockets in 5.
Soon moving on to the Brooklyn Nets, and in Philly, Harden almost became a curse. Now, on a Clippers super team, his move to a more facilitative role may see his team's success go up. As to how bad postseason Harden actually is, still a star, postseason James Harden is just disappointing. Anyways, thanks for watching SportsSphere. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.